and welcome back to It's Deeper Than Code. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Big Papa Code.
And today we are talking...
We're talking about what the top jobs are in this new emerging tech market.
So like, what are some jobs that are emerging in this industry?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. There's no shortage of what jobs people could go into. And of course, like our traditional jobs are still going to be there for the most part. Of course, we have the AI singularity coming behind us, but that's another episode. Go check that episode out.
Okay.
But in general, like there's a lot of emerging jobs as a result of this emerging technology. And some of the big ones is robotic process automation. That's a big one. You also have, QA, which has been around for a while, but is evolving. So you got quality assurance. That's what QA stands for. You also, of course, have cloud engineering. As all of this, because, with all these different companies needing to care more about data, et cetera. The data's got to get stored somewhere. People need to know how to deal with that stuff. So you have cloud engineering. You also have AI engineering in general. So actually building artificial intelligence, et cetera. And then you have prompt engineering, which is another one, AI prompt engineering, where you actually know the process of fine-tuning LLMs and, providing, great prompts to things like ChatGPT and Claude, et cetera. So those are some of like the big emerging jobs. Not all of them. I could name some more, but those are some of the big ones that from these type of jobs. And I can't forget about blockchain engineering too. People that are working on building these different blockchains and building applications for them and applying them to all these different use cases. So that's some of the big ones. What's
the importance of them though? Like, is it going to be high demand? Like soon? Are they already in high demand?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are already in high demand. Like some of the ones that are immediately in high demand are, first you have, prompt engineering, and the demand for that is growing little by little over time because, everybody's trying to find a way to utilize AI to be more productive. So people that know how to work well with AI are, going to, highly, highly sought after. So like, for example, okay, I know you don't always watch movies like this, but
Please drop one on me.
Jurassic Park, right?
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, you know the new one? You know the new ones?
No.
Okay. Well, in the new ones, there's the same dude that plays the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. He plays Star-Lord, whatever his name is.
I take that back. Is the new Jurassic Park where it was the little blue dinosaur?
Yes, Blue is in there. Blue is in there. Okay.
I watched that one.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
But you saw like his job was, the reason why he was important is because he knew how to like train the dinosaurs and get them to do stuff.
Right.
So you had this new like thing, like the dinosaurs didn't exist, they were extinct, et cetera, and they brought dinosaurs back to life. And people that knew how to train dinosaurs and work with them knew how to actually get the full value out of what those dinosaurs could provide. So him being able to train somebody like Blue and, lead like a pack of raptors and do all this cool stuff he was doing, that's what made him valuable, which is why like they had to go find him to bring him there when the place broke down, all this type of crazy stuff. The same thing with AI, right? Like to a little lesser extent, but the prompt engineers know how to like get ChatGPT to get you what you want, right? Because some people might put some stuff in, but they don't know how to prompt it correctly. You got to be good at writing. You got to know like what difference between a noun and a verb and, and conjugations, blah, 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 all this different type of stuff like that. You got to know how to fine tune it a little bit, give it some additional data. Like all that stuff is stuff that prompt engineers know how to do. And so they can, you might have had to hire 20 people before, but now you hire one good prompt engineer. You got a good, thing for them to work with. And then boom, they can go ahead and crank out tens of thousands of things.
So you think it's one prompt engineer that works for ChatGPT?
No. It's like the prompt engineer isn't the one on the back end, like receiving prompts and doing that.
Okay.
They're the person that, let's say at our company, if we wanted to hire somebody and their whole entire job was to come up with topics, right? And we use ChatGPT for it. Their job would be to go ahead and prompt ChatGPT correctly to create us as many pieces of content as we can create.
Okay.
And that's what they would get paid to do. And on a company much bigger than ours, on like a bigger scale, they're even more valuable because they're creating using their skills of knowing how to prompt really, really well to get the right things out of it. Just like, for example, I can train a dog or whatever the case may be. I can, but I'm not good at it. And I don't even, I'm not even a dog person like that. But I could, but a dog trainer
would literally knock you out the park with that one.
Exactly.
No, for sure. So tell us more about quality assurance. Well, I want to know more about quality assurance. Like, what does that quality assurance engineer do? What does that role look like?
Well, one of my friends, her name is Jennifer Gaddis, and we'll pop a picture of her up or something like that.
Okay.
She has a company called Road to QA, and they, and we're actually about to do a partnership coming out soon on something else. But she has this program called Road to QA. And in Road to QA, essentially, the number one thing she says is everybody's a software tester, right? That everybody already does that because you already go and use applications and you already will complain if it doesn't work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or have thoughts on like what's supposed to happen. So what she does is teach you how to take what you already do and actually turn that into an actual career. Because what QA does essentially, and for me not to turn it into a super long thing, like of course, like Jennifer has like a 45-minute webinar. She explains it in detail.
Mhm.
So me to do it in 45 seconds is essentially all quality assurance engineers do is they make sure that software does what it was supposed to do. Because you're always going to have a end result, like get a goal when like you build a software. So you're trying to, somebody's going to give you like a list of things that the thing is supposed to do. Let's say it's like, it's supposed to jump up and down 3 times, spin around and say hello.
Okay.
Let's say it's supposed to do those 3 things.
Mhm.
So a QA engineer is going to make sure that it does that. It jumps up and down, it spins around 7 times and it says hello. And if it doesn't do those things, then they're going to make note of it and say that it's not working to the correct standard.
Okay.
And as that gets more and more advanced, you're trying to make sure that anytime you add a new feature to that, to one of these applications that doesn't have like what's known as a regression, right? Where something used to work and now it stopped working. Because you know, it's like playing Jenga a little bit. Like you pull the thing out, put it up here, does it still stand? Right? You're trying to make sure that it continues to do that. And that's why they're so important, because if you have an application that's supposed to do a certain thing and it doesn't do it, obviously you're going to have a whole bunch of angry users.
Yeah. So when I read quality assurance, I think of when you're on the phone and they say that this call is being recorded for quality assurance. I was trying, like, so basically how you just broke it down, I'm trying to put that together with that. Is it the same thing?
It's not the same thing there because we're talking about software.
Right.
But they're doing quality assurance in the sense of they're going to listen into the call and verify that you...
things are being done right.
Yeah, things are being done right. That like, you know, that whatever 5 things they're supposed to say to every single customer. Like let's say Chick-fil-A, they got to make sure they said, you know,
my pleasure.
My pleasure. Yeah, exactly. Yes. They got to make sure that those things happen. If they didn't happen, then that's like a knock on the person. Okay.
Yeah, that works. So with these jobs, do we go to college? What is the best way for us to get these skills?
Well, there's a number of ways. There's no way to say the best way because every single type of person is going to learn differently.
Right.
So, for example, of course, you can go to college. And let's say, for example, like any of the more like engineering type roles, you can go and get a computer science degree, et cetera, learn those things there. There's also degrees in software development and all this other stuff. So you can definitely go to college and do that. The only problem with going directly to college for some of these roles is college takes a long time to catch up to what's in the market.
Okay.
And in the tech industry, things change so
Very
fast.
Right.
So outside of like the core, like deep engineering stuff, anything out, if that's not what you're doing, it's going to be really difficult to find a college degree in robotic process automation or quality assurance, you know, in the way that the type of software you need to know now. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's not always the best way. And then in the midst of you doing 4 years of school, things are going to change anyway.
Right.
So that's not always the best way. Then you also have the self-taught route, which is really good. That's what I did, right, initially.
And look at him.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about that is you have to, if you're going to be self-taught, you have to be somebody that can start something from the beginning and follow all the way through. You have to be somebody that can hold your own self accountable. Mm-hmm. You have to do a lot of things that, to be honest, humans aren't always the best at doing, right? And then also you have to be able to self-assess yourself well, like to be able to truly say, without being too harsh or too nice to yourself, did I do enough today? And am I making progress? And did I do what I was supposed to do? Right. And so a lot of people there were other people I knew that were trying to do the self-taught route at the same time I was. And at the end of the day, none of those people that I was doing it with then are doing anything now. Mm-hmm. They all fell off because they weren't able to do that. Like, they would see me like spending 8 hours learning something, like spend my whole day and I'm learning how to do thing. And they would say, you're doing too much. Blah, blah, blah. Yesterday I took a day off, blah, blah, blah. And that compounds.
Right.
And so because I didn't do that, then I got good at it. And then they would look at me and say like, man, you're just so naturally gifted at this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, but every single time I was doing 8 hours, you kept not.
Yeah.
So
no, for real. Because what is the logic that you have? You got to do like 1,000 hours. How many hours towards a gift?
to master it is 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. See, and you put the work in. So when you go to college, so say you go to college for robotics, right? And then things change so often in the tech world. Like, get this degree, and then what would I do? If things are growing rapidly, like say I got this robotics degree, I go to get this job, but I don't know the specific thing that's happening right now in the tech industry. What's my next step?
So what a lot of people have done, and sometimes this is people that are, didn't even go to college, but a lot of people that have graduated college have like been in one of my classes, which is like a coding boot camp, right?
Right.
And courses that are similar to it. And essentially what happens is they go there to get like the tangible, like hands-on skills. Because a coding boot camp kind of works with an immersive model in the same way that like when you go like to a military boot camp, right? You go to like, and I've been to boot camp because I was in the military, and like they just basically like take you from being a civilian and they're just like, no, now you're in the military, and just immerse you in that. Like for example, when I wanted to learn I didn't know how to swim when I got there. And I know people that spend 6 months learning how to swim.
As an adult?
I was an adult, didn't know how to swim. Leave me alone. So I wasn't a very old adult. I mean, this is like 17, 18 years ago, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say 17, 18 years old. Okay.
Well,
no?
I was only a little bit older than that. I was like, but yeah, I was around that age.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like when I wanted to learn how to swim, they made me go up to the top of like this, like platform, right? And they made everybody do it, right? And then jump off, right? Now
into what though? A pool?
Into a pool, right?
Okay.
And then you have to swim to the end, and then you're good. They said, okay, you know how to swim, right? And it's because you're in the Navy, so you have to be able to swim, right? Because you can't fall off the ship, and not know how to keep yourself up. They'll come get you out, but you can't sink.
Yeah.
So they're trying to. You got to know how to do that.
Yeah.
So they don't need you to be a crazy swimmer. They just need you to be able to like stay there until we could throw you something to pull you back up. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So what they did is, like, I didn't know how to swim, and they held all the people onto the side didn't know how to swim. And they said, and I was like the first one, right? On the line. Yeah. Because I'm like a hard charger type person where like I volunteer myself too fast sometimes. So like,
I thought it was because your last name was, the beginning of the alphabet.
No, it wasn't that. It just like was like,
I'll do it.
I made myself get in the front, but I didn't say I was gonna do it. They was like, okay, who's gonna come up first? And I was like, okay, yeah, I come up first. It was like, okay, we're just gonna bring you up there, just so you can see how high it is. Then we're gonna go ahead and teach you how to swim. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so you didn't think when you go up there you wasn't jumping?
Yeah, I didn't think I was jumping. So I walk up, I go up, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty far, man. I tried to turn around, and they Spartan kicked me into the pool.
You're lying.
I'm dead serious. They did the Leonidas, this is Sparta, boom. And I'm just.
How high up though?
It was, I think it's 8 or 10 feet. I don't remember which one. 8 or 10 feet high.
How deep is the pool?
I don't remember, but it was deep. It was, there was no way to touch the bottom and it was like 10 feet deep, 8 feet deep, something crazy like that. I used to know the exact numbers, but I don't remember now. But it was deep. It was deep enough that diving was okay, right? Because, it has to be a certain level. Yeah. If it's too shallow,
you can't dive,
you can hurt yourself. Yeah. So, they kicked me in. And then when they kicked me in, what I didn't see though, is the person that kicked me in, they jump in after me, right?
Oh, okay.
So, but I can't see that. I'm just falling.
Because now we're freaking out.
Yeah, now we're freaking out. And so the person jumps in. So they kick me in, and then he jumps in, right? And because he's in the water, like I didn't see him jump after me, but that's what they explained to me happened afterward. That's what they do. Like they jump in after, and at the end of the day, then they start, throwing like things at me on like how to swim, like on the spot, like. You need to learn how to swim right now.
Because you're in panic. So it's like, what do I do at this very moment? Yeah.
They're like that. So they would like, hit the bottom. So I hit the bottom. Like, push yourself up. Lean back.
That's how you were freaking out.
Like, freaking out. And I actually was like, oh, snap. Wait, am I doing it? You're doing it. Keep going. And then once I realized I was really doing it.
You was Michael Phelps.
No, I wasn't Michael Phelps. Then I got scared. I was like, wait, I shouldn't be able to do this. And I start sinking. And they're like, all right, come out. You did good. But you see, you're able to do it, right? Now I'm going to teach you how to do that when you don't think you're about to die.
See, that's not okay.
And now the other people that were going up are like, okay, that's what we're going to do to everybody now. So like, now you see what's going to happen, right? And it was grown men over there crying, like, I can't do that. Oh, no, you did that to blah, 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 blah. There was one dude from Detroit.
Now, listen, please, not too much. And he didn't know how to swim?
He ain't know how to swim.
Shame on you. If you're watching this, shame on you.
He ain't know how to swim. And I remember he was from Detroit because I don't know. Something about, at least this was what happened in the military. I'm not going to say nothing bad. I'm not going to say nothing bad. I'm not going to say nothing bad. But, okay, I am going to say something bad. But don't be mad.
I'm not going to be upset.
But this is the truth, because I was from New York.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, something about the people that were there that were from Detroit, they were like mad that we were from New York. I don't know why.
It's something about like a Detroit, New York thing. I don't know
but it's definitely one-sided, because I was like, I love Martin. But what's the problem?
Did you see he just got a little reward when he did first off topic of this fine. Martin did a stand-up in Detroit, and the apartment, like the real apartment that he was supposed to record at is in Detroit, and he got like a little like plaque outside of the apartment. We love that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you love Martin. He's not from Detroit though.
Martin Payne is from Detroit.
Martin Payne is from Detroit.
Martin Lawrence is not.
He's not. No, he is absolutely not.
But Martin Payne is from Detroit. Well, WZUP.
Yes, we absolutely love that. Okay, so I'm about to put you back on track for one second. So boom. So you mentioned something about. So no, this is my next question. So.
Oh, but I remember why I was even saying all that stuff.
Right, the boot camp.
The boot camp thing.
Boot camp.
Let me finish. Go
ahead.
Because I was like, wait, why was I saying all that?
Because we was talking about how the coding boot camp works.
Yes, the coding boot camp works the same way. The coding boot camp works the same way with that whole that model of we just throw you in the deep end, but we jump in there with you. Okay. Right? That was the whole idea. So I said all that just to make that one point. But tell you all about my trauma.
Yes, we'll throw that in there. But that's the intensity of the coding boot camp.
Exactly. And in a coding boot camp, you learn all the new stuff.
Okay.
Right? And you learn it all hands on, but so you actually do the thing. Like, it's not theory, right? Like, you don't go to a boot camp learn theory. You go to a boot camp to say, like, I need to leave here knowing how to do the job, how to do the work. So a lot of people that like went to college will also go to a boot camp after to like pick up on like whatever the industry standard stuff is at the moment.
Right.
And there's certain people that might be self-taught or whatever that also will go to a coding boot camp, and pick up like additional skills, et cetera, so that they can make a career change or break into their career. I know one guy, his name is Joshua. And, I still work with him to this day. He was one of my students before, about 4 years ago. And he was like 18 years old when he took the course.
Oh, period.
And so he didn't go to college or anything. He was just like, screw college. I'm just going to go to a boot camp and learn it.
Yeah.
And he's been working in the field ever since. Like, he just learned the stuff from the boot camp and then just went right to go do it. Because so a lot of these careers, like the prompt engineering, et cetera, there's no degree for them. So you don't have to show up with no master's degree.
Yeah, that was my next
question.
Blah, blah. So you don't need that. You literally can, as long as I've been to a credible boot camp, I can get the job.
Yes, as long as you know the skills. It's not a matter because you went to a certain boot camp or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you perform the work, and can they test and see that you can perform the work?
Okay.
You can perform the work, then you can go. Then you can do it.
Okay, that's lit. We love that. So, what is like the focus on practical skills over theory method, or what is that?
Yeah, that focus on practical skills over theory. I mean, theory is good. And I am really into theory myself just because I'm a nerd. Mm-hmm. So I love theory. But if you focus on theory your whole entire time, you just theory. I mean, that's cool, but that's not going to get results.
Okay.
That's why and I can say it's because I teach people all the time. There's people I know who teach and can't really actually be effective if they were to go do the job themselves. But they could go ahead and teach people, keep them engaged a little bit, et cetera. But they're not really a practitioner.
Yeah.
Right? And that is my biggest pet peeve. I'm not going to put anybody on blast.
I know a lot of people like that, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're great at teaching, but if I needed you to go do what you're teaching me, it would be horrible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Exactly. I know people that are like that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be me.
Of course not.
I'd kill it.
For sure. For sure.
But at the end of the day, I know a lot of people where that's the case. And it's unfortunate. And so like, in order for somebody to teach you the practical skills, they've got to be able to do the practical skills. In order for them to tell you if you're doing it right, they have to be able to do it right. They can't just be somebody who's reading from a textbook or just following a curriculum or doing this. They've got to be a practitioner themselves so they can actually take you from point A to point B. It's like I was talking to this woman actually at InvestFest, right? And she was talking about how when she wants to bring in more entrepreneurs and stuff like that into her class, teach her students in like this program that she has, because they look at her when she's trying to teach them about finances and things of that nature. And they say dumb stuff to her like, Miss blah, 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 you don't got no Bugatti. How you going to tell me how to get a Bugatti? Like dumb stuff like that. And that makes no sense because obviously you don't need to have a Bugatti. But the point they're trying to make it is like, you know, kids are like, yo, like, I don't want to just hear you tell me because you could tell me whatever.
Right.
I need you to show me that you could do it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I remember I was coaching somebody, right? And I would never normally do this, right? But I kind of knew this person, but we weren't, I wouldn't say we're friends, but we were well acquainted enough, right?
Okay.
And they were, you know, and I was talking about, hey, like, you know, do this because X, Y, Z, you know, I was trying to tell them about some things they don't need to focus on and things they should focus on. And they're like, well, I want to focus on this. I'm like, cool, you can, but you're not going to get paid for doing that. And it basically, it's like they were kind of making a joke. They were like, well, you know, how much do you make doing X, Y, Z? And I was like, I make X, you know, whatever money. It's like, if you show me like a thing for this right now, right out of that stupid movie. What's the movie? Wolf of Wall Street. They say that. I
love Wolf of Wall Street.
It's a good movie, but
great movie.
But like you know, like when the dude says that, like show me a thing.
And he literally went in the phone booth, called his boss, and quit his job.
And quit the job. So like so I was like, I can show you my tax return right now. So like I show him tax return. He's like, oh snap, no, you really get money out here. Yeah, you know, from doing X, Y, Z. He was like, yeah, like what did you think I was doing? Yeah. So, you know, kind of just something like that. Like, and then after that person never questioned anything that I told that they should do. Period. Yeah. Because then they can see that there's actually like a tangible thing, you know, that comes from following those instructions. Yeah. And when somebody's not a practitioner or they haven't had success, it's hard for them to, you know, help bring you somewhere they've never been. Like bring you to a treasure that they can't claim themselves. That's like, you know, something you normally don't want to do. Right.
Definitely. So how does like job placement work? So are these jobs listed on like Indeed? Like if I come to this boot camp, how am I guaranteed a job after this?
If you go to a coding boot camp, you're not guaranteed a job.
Okay. Could you help me get a job?
Could I help you get a job? Could I help Shelby get a job if you learned what I would tell you? Yes, I could. Okay. But yeah, when it comes to like where the jobs are listed at, I mean, they're listed everywhere. But the place that I think is the best place, and it's almost like, I don't know if I should say it because I don't know if it'll accidentally make too many people start going there and then mess it up for everybody. But I'm gonna say it anyway. There's a place called Well Found, right? It used to be called Angel List Jobs, but now it's called Well Found. And a lot of startups, what they do is they put their jobs on that platform, right? And these are going to be startups that'll be seed stage, Series A, Series B, Series C, Series D. And since we're on a podcast, I'll explain what all that means because I know not everybody knows what that is. But seed stage essentially is when a company that has like a big idea and they need to get it funded, but they haven't proven their business model yet, right? So they go ahead and they get funding, whatever in the seed stage. Then you have Series A. They have made some traction, et cetera. That's like the next round of funding they'll do. And they've proven more. You have Series B, you're trying to expand. Series C, Series D, they're trying to grow some more before they go public. And then after, you know, anywhere from, you know, Series C, D, whatever, at some point they're going to decide, hey, after that next significant round of funding, we're going to try to go public. Now that part is just so you just have a general understanding. The play, though, the thing that has helped a lot of people, especially tech professionals make a lot of money, which they normally don't tell you about, is when you go ahead and you get a job in tech and you work for a startup, they give you part of your salary. Let's say it might be $150,000, right? They give you another part of the salary, which is actually going to be equity in the company, right? A small amount of equity, et cetera. But let's say, but a lot of times it might be like, let's say $150,000 and $50,000 in equity in the company, right? And you should know like what the company raised. Let's say the company was, you know, raised $3 million on a $10 million valuation. So the company's worth $10 million and they're giving you $50,000 in equity in the company, right? So that means if the company were to go from, and when you're doing all these different rounds, you can't keep raising money if your company only levels up a little bit. Like somebody else not going to give the company money if from Series A, when they're raising Series B, it's only like a 2x like expansion or whatever, right? They're going to want to see a 5, 10x, whatever expansion. So let's say you got $50,000 here and it was given to you in equity, and the company in the next round, now they go from 10 million to 50 million. Now your $50,000 is $250,000, right? And then let's say you're around for another round and they go from 50 million to 240 million or something like that. That's 4.8x, right? So now they're at 240 million and now your 250,000 is now worth over $1 million and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to continue to grow. And then there's companies that, because you might be like, okay, well, how do you even do something with that money? But there's companies like Quid and other companies similar to it, which will actually let you take your private shares and actually basically take out a loan against it. But the same thing like for example, Elon Musk, what he does all the time. Because Elon Musk, he has all these shares in Tesla. He can't just sell all the shares. If he does that, he'll tank the price. So only way he can access that value is if he takes out a loan against the shares, right? So then he takes out a loan against the shares. And because that's a loan, there's no taxes on it or anything because it wasn't income.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless it's income. Like if you refinance your house right now and you went from 300 to 500,000 and you take a $200,000 loan when the refinance or whatever, or $200,000 cash out, I should say, right? You don't have to pay taxes on the money you cashed out because that wasn't income. You took out a loan against it, right? So you can access the money in that way, or you can sell your shares. There's you could do that too. And you have to pay taxes on it because capital gains, et cetera, because, of the value that it went up. But the point is, the way that what a lot of people do, the strategy is you go to all of these different startups and you work at this one, then you work at that one, you work at this one, you work at that one. Some people will even double up on jobs or whatever the case may be because, you can work multiple jobs. That's, people do that all the time.
Right.
Right. And essentially you use those shares that you got. Some of those companies are going to be successful. Some of them aren't. But as soon as you are able to actually tap into the value, you tap into the value. And let's say if the company keeps going up, you took out the loan against the shares, but you could always sell the shares to pay off the loan and get the difference. Or, you can surrender, because, you don't want the shares anymore. You already got the cash. So there is strategies that way that you can continue to level up. And some friends that, I'm not going to say people's name because then that's going to expose them of stuff. But there's people that are sitting on a lot of money right now as a result of doing that. That work that, Google, they give out equity as part of their income or whatever. So people are like, why is so-and-so always in this part of the world and that part of the world? Because she didn't work at Google and she got this one and that one. You didn't see how Google just went up 20%. Like whatever. And then the people that work in private companies, well, how did he blah, blah? He just take that loan out against the thing and that's cash free money. Now he just chilling in Colombia and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm saying too much. That's going to make people realize what I'm talking about.
Like, ooh, out of town. So we might need to take a boot camp.
He said,
I need to get into boot camp.
I mean, boot camp's not the only way. There's something else that I'm working on. We'll talk about in another episode.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's, I think we went over everything.
Yeah, we did. And we're going to get into boot camps in another episode. Y'all make sure that y'all comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all again next Monday at 9:00. Bye.
Peace.
I'm the one that you should call when you learn to code. Success follow me around if you didn't know. From the bottom, so the top, the only way to go. Yeah, man, they call me Mr. CTO. I'm the one that you should call when you learn to code. Success follow me around if you didn't know. From the bottom, so the top, the only way to go. Got in this game from a humble beginning, but now we winning.